Guys, my name is Zbricks, and welcome to the Zbricks Show. My name is Zach. I'll be your host. And if you don't know, the Zbricks Show is a show where I talk to different people in online LEGO community, whether it's through YouTube or Instagram. And today I'm talking to Moto. Would you like to tell us a little bit about yourself and your YouTube?
Yeah, I don't YouTube that much. I don't have many subscribers. I just do it randomly. But you can find my work on Instagram at moto, M-O-T-O, .lego, L-E-G-O. And from there, if you're into LEGO, there's a link to my Flickr page where I do more work in progress, more technical stuff. But yeah, if you just want to see my stuff, just head on over to Instagram.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So, as per usual, the YouTube and the Instagram will be linked in the description of this video, so you can go check both of those out and subscribe and follow on each. And yeah, so let's just get into some quick little starter questions.
Sure.
So, first up is, when did you start building with LEGO, and what were some of your first sets?
Sure, I can't remember when I started building. I was pretty young, maybe 7 or 8. I have my first sets that I can remember right here with me. One fond memory is the fire boat, and it had lead weights that would go on the bottom. So my memory of this is having this floating around the bathtub and playing with it after I put it together. And
that's awesome.
The other early set, and these aren't the originals, they're long since gone, but this is good old Learjet. It's ancient. It has 39 complete pieces, stunning 39 piece box, set number 455, and this is, I think, might not be Samsonite, but it's pretty darn old, but this is kind of what you used to get back in the day. This was considered a medium-sized set, 39 pieces.
Wow.
Very basic stuff, yeah.
Things have changed quite a bit.
Things have gotten a lot better for everybody, I think. But yeah, these are my first sets that I can remember.
Awesome. Well, that's cool. And when were those released?
When were they released? Oh, man, probably 75, 73, something like that.
Wow.
77, 1970s, yeah.
Man. Well, that's awesome.
Ago.
Yeah, my first sets were much more recent than those.
Yeah, mine are almost 50 years old. They're like 45 years old.
Wow. Yeah. So, man, so I'm guessing you just got those off Bricklink or something, so you could have the original sets that you had?
I didn't. So the reason, this is partly the reason why I'm an AFOL now, is my brother sent my son a junior set to put together. Shortly after putting that together, and he really liked it, I was in a thrift store, and in the thrift store, I found this set. And by putting it back together, just brought back all the memories. And so I just started to, do thrift store lots and restore sets to save money. And then, you get into sorting. And the Learjet was someone on Facebook, I think it was AFOLs of Facebook, posted this. And I said, that's my childhood set. I will buy it off of you. And so they sold it to me and shipped it out. And they, were starting to get into doing, reselling things. And so it was a win-win for both of us. Yeah, it was really cool.
That's awesome.
The community's amazing.
Yeah, it's really great.
Yeah.
I think my, now, I don't know for sure what my first set was. I know I started off with just like a Tupperware of Lego parts from a neighbor, but I know that I believe my first set was like a 2009 police helicopter. I probably didn't start building with Lego until I was 7 or 8, but I don't know for sure. So, but I think it was either a police helicopter or probably some power miner set or something. I don't quite remember.
Yeah, some of my early sets I've since restored are all town. Everybody starts with city or town.
Yeah, that's from what I've heard.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So, when did you really start, you said you don't really do much YouTube, but when did you really start sharing your LEGO creations online, and what kind of inspired you to do that?
So I was in EFL for about a year, and I started by, like I said, I go to there's a thrift store and they just kind of crush everything into a bucket, and then I tumble the bucket, look at license plate stickers, that's the set number, or various ways of, and then you start to get to brick link, you get into brick set, and after a while, from restoring sets for about a year, I had about, I think it was about 200 sets, and my brother said, you used to make great spaceships when you were young. In fact, my first mock is still intact. We never broke it apart. When I was about 13 or so, it was a spaceship. So I figured I'll make a spaceship, and I finished my first spaceship mock. The dates are on Instagram, I just can't remember them, but after about a year, and I'm a photographer, so I used Flickr, and I didn't realize that Flickr was a main community at the time for starting to share things, but yeah, I shared my build on Flickr, and it got picked up by a blog and shared around, so I was like, maybe I'm onto something, so I just kept going from there, and building more spaceships, more things along the way.
Awesome. I saw that, I know you've built the huge spaceship, and it's, there's no way he can show it on screen right now. I'm afraid
it's not even here. I'd have to pick it up. It's in a different because it's so massive. It stands about 7.5 feet tall when it's done.
It's so big.
Right now I only completed. I broke it. Well, so it fell over, and during the winters when I work on it. But it's a large Technic structure. Eventually, I'll skin it. But the top third is a gigantic crystalline egg structure. I don't know. It doesn't look like the stuff I built. It's hard to describe. It doesn't look like anything else, but it's a massive, like Fabergé crystalline egg. I would say it's 3.5 feet tall.
It's big. If you haven't seen it, there's pictures on his Instagram, and the Instagram is linked. You have to see this thing to believe it. Imagine a big blue egg on 4 white legs. And it just being some awesome spaceship. It's
completely
insane.
swooshable too. That's what blows people's mind too. Is it's really big, but you can pick it up. You can swoosh it around.
Can you actually? I haven't seen that, but that's just crazy.
Yeah. I switched it for Boone. I've switched it a couple times. I mean, that's just the fan favorite is to grab the big egg and pick it up and swoosh it around.
Is there a video of you doing this anywhere on the internet?
Yeah, it is. I've done it a few times. I think. I could get you a link with a timestamp if you're really interested, because I've done it a few times. Once for Richard and Flynn Tricky Brick Stream, and then I've also done it for Boone AFOL Spotlight Live. Yeah.
Well, how about that? If we can get a link to that, I'll put that down in a timestamp. I'll put that down in the description so you can go check out him swooshing the 7-foot rocket ship.
Yeah, I don't switch all 7 feet. I've done that before too. That would have been Friday Night Bricks, I think, where it was a vertical swoosh where I picked it up and carried it around. But the egg part, I actually can turn it sideways and properly, swoosh it.
Yeah.
Not a lot because it's so big that in the space it would have collided with the washer, the dryer, the sink or something. But yeah, it's funny.
Yeah, it's awesome, and he's also made. It's behind him right now, but there's a big white wolf head. That's extremely cool. It's absolutely fantastic, and that's also on Instagram if you want closer up photos of that.
For you guys only have audio only, you're not going to be able to see it, but hopefully we're capturing video tonight, so I'm just going to take a bit of a risk, and I'll kick my chair away to make sure it doesn't hit it. But yeah.
That is insane.
This one got picked up by Lego itself. They shared this build across all their social media accounts, which is ridiculous.
It's absolutely insane.
For a good day and a half, but it's made with using the toe ball mixel joints.
Man.
If you remember mixels, but yeah, it's a great technique that I learned from a TFOL who lives about an hour from me, named Riley. And his channel's Brick Science, but he's an amazing builder and kind of taught me the technique, and I used it in a very different way. He makes armor. Wearable armor. I just made a big wolf. But yeah, that's the other thing I'm known for is that big wolf's head.
That's awesome. It's hard to imagine this in my mind seeing that in front of me because it doesn't look like Lego. It looks like just a sculpture until you see the backside.
Yeah, it's an art piece. It's definitely different than most of the stuff.
Wow.
It's definitely this. Yeah, it's hard to describe if you go over to Instagram. It's kind of layered out in a tile on a profile, but yeah, it's just a bunch of plates that are put at compound angles to make a sculpture of a wolf's head.
It seemed like when you look at it and you see it's just the plates, it seems like a simple idea, but it's so complex. It's insane.
Yeah, people ask me, some folks were asking me for instructions, and it's so the way it's put together, it can't be modeled in studio, and LDD would just die trying. But yeah, it's literally this thing where I was like, I can't make instructions. There's no way to model the way it's connected together. It's just too complicated. Yeah, there's a lot going on in there. It was some parts of it were really tricky, but I'm really glad it came together.
Yeah.
Nice build. Yeah, nice build.
I think my favorite parts, and if you want to know what we're talking about, it's back there in the background, and I don't want to make him show it to you, so go check it out on Instagram. But I think my favorite parts are personally the tongue and the eyes. I think they're just so spectacular.
Yeah, the tongue is a slope belt, so it's all studs outward, and then I cover it with curved slopes, and that's the way you get a really nice shape to it. And of course, so the plates outwards have the studs out, so it looks like fur. It's a bit rough. And then I smoothed out the tongue because I wanted it to look like it was a wet mouth. Dogs' tongues are very slobbery, and so you get all that shine. The eye itself it's a series of 3 by dishes. So there's a white dish for the white of the eye. There's a new Harry Potter dish which has sparkles in it to get the reflective property of the eye. Then it steps down with a stud and then a 2-by, and there's little reverse slider plate. I don't know what to call them. They're usually used on the bottom to slide vehicles around, but you get this really beautiful highlight effect and a realistic looking eye out of it if you stack them all together.
It looks so fantastic.
Yeah.
It's
awesome.
Awesome.
All the time, so I actually have an extra eye to show off to people.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have the, I would never just, in my mock building, be able to think of ways to connect things together like that. It's just so crazy, because there's, the best way to put it is there's no creation like it. It truly is a one-of-a-kind design that I promise you've probably not seen anything like before.
Yeah, the way I described it is if you ever look at the polygon artwork or the prismic artwork where you take computers to make a polygon map of the creature itself, if you were to take one of those and then translate into the wedge plates and then attach all the wedge plates at the right angles, that's kind of what it looks like.
It really does, now that I think about it.
Yeah, so that's the way I thought of it, is I just stared at Wolf's pictures for hours on end, and in my mind I tried to create a polygon map across the animal, and then that's how I managed to work my way through attaching all the plates up.
That's crazy. Wow.
Yeah, a lot of Lego math. A lot of Lego math.
Lego, me and Ken Marlowe talked about this in one of my previous episodes. There is some serious math and physics involved with Lego. It gets, you discover a new technique, it seems, every time you build with Lego. Because it's like, how do these parts work together this way? And it's like, wow. I never would have thought that they could do that.
Yeah, I've finished the design of a belt that's sitting in front of me. And it uses a lot of snot bricks and techniques. But within it, I'm even doing things where I'm setting things offset by 1/2 plate in order to cover all the seams up. And when you start to get into using headlight bricks or brackets to get a 1/2 offset, you then have to start using jumpers and other sections to push things back and forth by 1/2 of a plate. But you're dealing with, not just plate math, but half plate offsets and things that gets really nuts in there.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a lot of math involved. One person, it was Mel, Iceberg Bricks, he said that, I see the world in not Lego math, but like Lego probability, kind of like how to solve something, with the kind of a different method or different methods coming together. So this one's not on Instagram yet, but I'm holding up this is on Flickr. I've got a D10 dice, a D&D D10 dice here. But it's the same idea where, coming up with the The facet is one part, but then trying to get all the seams to match up at the right angle is where it gets really tricky.
And are all these connected together, or
So what's fun is that I made a story out of it. So it was a challenge to make a D10. The second challenge was from a brother from another brick, BFAD. He wanted an egg. And then the third challenge was I had to film it outdoors. So I have a 4K video. It's really pretty on YouTube. But this D10 die cracks open, so they're two halves.
wow.
And then I've got a elves water dragon here, and it's the baby dragon that hatches out of the egg, because if it's D&D, you got to have the dragon.
That's so cool. Man.
So that was the idea, is a D10 dice, is D&D, and then kind of putting the dragon inside as hatching out of the D&D was kind of a nice little thought I had.
Wow.
Hopefully it worked. Don't know.
And to get a better look at most of his mocks, remember, just go check him out on YouTube and Instagram. He's got crazy good photos. You can see these things in pretty great quality on his social media.
So I only got into YouTube in the last, month? So I don't have a lot of my mocks shot in video, but, I'm always building something. So, the latest mock will be a wheeled vehicle, and I'll be sure to give it the 4K treatment and all that good stuff as well.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So on from the subject from mocks to actual
Sure.
Lego products, what are some of your favorite themes?
Classic space.
That seems to be everyone's answer from video to video to video is classic space.
Well, I'll tell you how hardcore it was. I didn't get a lot of the great Lego classic space sets. My brother did. But I have restored using original 70s vintage brick and plates. I look on the underside, I look at the way it's molded. But I've restored every single classic space set from the launch of it, I think it was 77, all the way through 1984.
Wow.
So at my desk at work, and it's been sitting there dead for 6 months, I haven't been able to get to it. I've got Galaxy Explorer sitting there. I've got the original Barracuda Bay pirate ship.
That's awesome.
And then I've got the original first Castle 375-1. And then I have the first Expert Builder set, which would have been the first Technic set ever released. So I have like the first flagship product of those four themes at my desk at work, just because that was, I never had Castle or the pirate set, but they were the iconic, sets, lines that were all launched around the time I was growing up in the 80s and 70s. But space was my thing, and my first mock is a mashup of all the best cool classic space pieces that you would, I harvested from my brother. Basically stole my brother's cool pieces and put them into a spaceship. And then we promised when we were around 13, 14 that we'd never break it apart. And it was never glued. It's just still together. It's in about 3 chunks because of shipping and all that, but it's still together and in storage. I should break it out sometime and put it in the background, because man, it's a wild looking freaky thing. But modern themes, every modern theme I love winds up getting canceled. So I really liked Elves. I thought that was a really cool line. Monster Fighters is another great one. Or no, sorry, not Monster Fighters. Hidden Side.
Oh yes.
Yeah,
I had
so
every set from Wave 1 and 2.
Yeah, you can't see because it's a narrow cut, but if I'm on the wide angle, I've got the Batman movie, Scuttler. I love that. Hidden Side, I've got Chima, just because I like Chima and most people don't, so I throw it in there as like a joke.
Well, that's 2 of us.
Yeah, my new favorite is Monkey Kids. I've got the Monkey Kid Warrior King mech, or Monkey Kid Monkey King Warrior mech. Man, that's a mouthful. Behind me as a set is box art. But yeah, I think Monkey Kid is incredible. And then my son's really into Ninjago, which is fantastic. But right now, Hidden Side is his number one theme. We're gonna have to go to the Lego store and get the last wave of stuff.
The Hidden Side is great, and I'm really sad that it's canceled. And I think that the first wave was definitely the best. But I really do have appreciation for the vehicles.
Crazy.
Oh yeah, the high school it's a phenomenal set.
Yeah.
I have mine taken apart and in the box right now because I just don't have room for it. but it's so packed full of stuff. It's like you can sit down with that and play for hours and have fun. And if you combine other sets with it, it's just
and the colors,
so much stuff.
Well, if anybody's going to look at my stuff, they're going to realize that I build them with what I call as I'm a friendly builder. So all my space stuff is white because NASA uses white. It makes sense. And then it also, using white, I can pop a lot of really bright colors on there and they just jump out. So I'm not afraid to have a horde of medium azure, dark pink, light pink, magenta. I'm starting to hoard coral when I can find it.
Oh, yes.
But yeah, I've got a package of coral over there I got to bust out. And then dots has opened up a lot of possibilities for me. So I should have said dots as well. Dots. I should be wearing my dots bracelet for crying out loud. But yeah, I'm a big fan of dots, and those tiles are just a great way to highlight stuff on a model.
Yeah, I got, my first experience with dots was I bought the teal bracelet, because it's like, teal's my favorite Lego color right now. So, well, that and Vibrant Coral, but they didn't make one in coral. So, but I got the teal one, and I wear it around. I don't have it on right now. It's in my room. But I got a bunch of those packs, like 5 or 10 packs of those extras, and I just dumped into a bowl and I did ASMR video with it. It was pretty funny, but
yeah, I didn't buy the bracelet.
It's so cool.
I still wanted the bracelet. I just wanted the extras.
Oh yeah, those extras are awesome.
And I layered. There's a model over there, a little bit off the screen, but yeah, I used it as detailing down the back of the spaceship, and it looks really great.
That's awesome. And they came out with that new color, too, that everyone overlooks. It's like that milky, transparent. And it's kind of like there's not really a good way to put it. It's really like a pearl.
Yeah, it's a pearl.
Like a trans pearl.
Gem. It's a gem, color. It's really freaky. I like that, too.
Yeah, I'm really hoping they come out with more pieces in that color. Because it's...
Yeah, it's a different kind of plastic, too. It's not poly... was it polycarbonate? I forget what they use for the clear pieces, but it's a little bit different too. It has a little bit more give to it, like even more give than ABS, I think, which is the standard Lego plastic.
Yeah, it's pretty whack. it's an interesting color, but I didn't even know that came in the packs, and I dumped them all out, and I was like, I have like 30 or 40 of this color in these 1x1s now. So I tried to figure out something cool to do with them. I haven't really figured anything out yet, but I'm definitely going to use them for something at some point. Maybe like a mosaic would be cool.
Someone's going to crack the code.
But that's awesome. Yeah, dots is a really good theme. And you said your son liked Ninjago. That's my favorite theme. But
he used to. And then Hidden Side came out and he pretty much bailed on it. So we've got all these unopened Ninjago boxes. That he was going to build, and then all of a sudden Hidden Side came on and he just left him alone. So I've got, I don't know, maybe 6 boxes that he's never put together, just waiting for this, like a bad winter snowstorm or something will put them together. But he just went straight to Hidden Side.
Yeah.
He plays the game all the time. I think that's why. He just loves the capturing ghosts and getting bosses. He's always showing me stuff he's captured.
That's cool. I never really got into the app. I guess I'm just not really into like the technological side of Lego. I do like the online building instructions though with the new app. I do like using that to keep my instruction booklets in like good condition. But I really just like all the figures that came in those sets and all the new colors for parts. I think my favorite one out of all the Hidden Side sets was probably the Shrimp Shack one. It's just the perfect set. You get so much great features in it, great figures, and really nice colors in that dark tan and sand blue, which are really great.
Yeah, and also you get that yellowish green, that creepy green is always really cool too.
Oh yeah.
I want to do a bad guy theme around that creepy green, like black with the creepy green on it.
That'd be cool.
Like a twist on Blacktron, and then you hit the highlights with trans neon green. And you could hit it under black light. Unfortunately, the yellow-green doesn't fluoresce, but the trans-neon stuff does. So you could get some pretty cool effects with that if you're into black light effects with Lego.
Yeah. You could do like have your spaceships that you make right now. You can make some smaller scale ones which for you, a smaller scale set is like
It
a
would be normal scale.
yeah.
Yeah,
It's
I hear you.
but you could do like a I don't know, like a space battle or something. You could have
Yeah,
like
that's what I
the
do.
black and green, and then the one of your white ships.
Yeah, what I've done is I arrange all my ships into a base, and then I finally built a bad guy, but the bad guy is a Bionicle creation. It's this gigantic monster dragon, and it's, I don't know, 3 feet tall.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't know if you've seen that, but if you scroll through on Instagram, that's Abaddon the Destroyer. But that thing is all black, and because it's a Blacktron enemy, or Blacktron version of an enemy, it's all jet black, then it has silver on it, and then all of the pop colors are trans neon orange and trans neon green, and then they glow under black light, so I hit it with a black light and the whole thing fluoresces up. And then I used these vintage stickers. I didn't realize at the time, but the stickers fluoresce as well.
That's really cool.
Yeah, it's got holographic stickers that fluoresce, which is really wild. But if someone goes through that little portfolio, you're going to hit Abaddon, and that thing in person is gigantic. So it takes up about, I'd say a good 2 by 4 foot footprint. So I set it at one end of the table, and it's charging in. And yeah, I've got the bounty hunter in air quotes, which is really Blacktron. CMFs charging as well, and I've got a little dragon, and Blacktrons is the bad guys to my theme.
That's
and,
awesome.
Yeah, they're basically rushing the base and destroying mechs and stuff along the way.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, but I should do a bad guy spaceship, just haven't gotten around to it.
I don't really have a big Lego layout yet, but
Well, neither do I. It's all packed up, but when you go to a convention, they provide the tables.
That's true. I got a big table not too long ago. It's, I don't know, probably 3 or 4 feet. It's really hard to access the middle of it. It's like 3 or 4 feet by probably 6 or 7 feet. So it's a big table, but I'm thinking about doing I built this Half-Life train the other day, right here.
Oh, wow. So if you guys are listening only, it's too bad. He's got a really clean, tiled train.
Yeah.
He's even got insets going on.
Yeah, it's
That is great.
I think I've done a video on it, so if that video doesn't work, it's on here too. But it's pretty crazy.
What the heck?
I posted on my Instagram, and I think there's a video up of me motorizing it. It's got a battery box here in the back.
Yeah, I saw the battery in the back.
Yeah, it's actually really cool. I use these big slope pieces. I got these out of the Hidden Side train set. 2 of these big black soaps. And I was like, I could really use those for the sides of this. But fittingly, this is called a Razor train. So it's really thin, and it's supposed to be just kind of like a tank, but a train. So it's my first train engine.
It's really beefy.
Yeah, for being thin,
I like
it's really
I like the Nexo prismatic
big
element on the very front.
Oh yeah,
I
figured that would be a cool,
nice little detail.
like I think it's like a battering ram in Half-Life 2, but it's like I figured it was just really cool, so I wanted to make good use of that. But
it reminds me of
that's
an
my latest
angular Raymond Loewy locomotive from the late 1930s. Really slick.
Yeah, it really was a fun experience to build. I think this took, it was probably a weekend where I didn't have anything going on. It was probably 2 or 3 days.
The flow and start jamming it out, huh?
Yeah, yeah. It just sat down in the Lego room and spent hours building this. But yeah.
Try to keep it together.
Yeah, I'm definitely keeping it together. And the point I was getting at was I think I'm going to build a Half-Life City 17 with that table. Get some tan base plates, lay them out, and just start building big modulars and get a city going.
The conventions I go to, the standard table I think is 4 foot by 8 foot. And I realized if I use the really big gray base plates, I can lay a surface down. My problem is everybody, except for me and my love, really seems to like making really detailed dioramas. They make the entire landscape. They've got the modular buildings and streets and everything going on. I'm just a really good model maker, so I kind of just plonk models down and arrange them. And then I'll have little things that I blast out in an hour or two, antennas or radar dishes or things like that I kind of set in between, but I really don't have any terrain. I just kind of go in with different models, and then I just physically try to, work out a story in the space, because I keep building so much that when I show up, I've got another 2 spaceships. So, I put a red base on the bottom, I lift the spaceship up, and then I can constantly kind of grow the spaceport as I need to, just because it's not fixed into a diorama. It's a little bit more flexible in approach.
Yeah. I've got, I like little 200 to 300 piece vignettes, so I'm not like into the big sets.
No trains, no modular buildings, no architecture at all. I've never done a diorama or a physical environment. It's just, there's always something else, right, to build. Too busy putting together crazy wolf heads and stuff, I guess.
That's awesome, though. I mean, it's just, I personally don't really build. I don't usually build like modular buildings. It's not my thing. Like,
well, everybody's got their thing,
yeah. I like 1 or 2 day builds, just small things that I can make look really good. I've got a few on my shelf.
I can't do. I mean, the shortest time I've ever spent, I think. Well, I take it back. I've done a couple challenges where, jam something out in 24 hours or a day, and I wind up with little crazy spaceships.
Oh yeah, that's really cool. It really reminds me. I saw that. I feel like I've seen that on Instagram, and it really reminds me with the use of the canopy and the way it slopes all the way back.
Yeah.
It's like the I don't know if you've seen it, but there's a Ninjago set from like 2013. It's like a ninja copter, and it really reminds me of that.
Well, that would be great if it looks like a set that everybody enjoys. I've never seen a ninja copter. I don't know what it is, but yeah, if I landed close to a set, that's cool.
Yeah, I would look it up. It's pretty cool. But we're actually getting really close to our time.
Oh yeah.
But
things you want to cover?
Yeah. I was just gonna ask one more question, and that's: are there any mock building tips you would like to give to the viewers?
Oh, where do you even begin? Mock building tips. Like at what level of experience were we talking? Like someone's just beginning, or someone who's been doing it for a while?
Sure, just beginning.
I'm gonna give a different answer depending on your level of where you're at.
How about for just beginners?
So just beginners, I would say, so the first thing you can do if you want to be a mock builder is definitely look into sorting. It just makes you understand what's in your collection. You start to identify parts and start to learn them rapidly. I would start off by modifying a kit is always a good way to go, is look at how your set is put together, but think about how maybe you have some extra pieces or a different kit piece lying around and how you can modify it to make it better in your mind, or more either good looking or a little bit more nutty, or change the theme out. I would say start relatively small so you don't get too far ahead of yourself if you can. And yes, just there's some great guides out there, like Snot Techniques, when that was invented, really drove a huge advancement in the way you can build. So I look at, try to find all your brackets, try to find all your snot pieces, and those are the bricks that have the studs on the side of the brick, and try to get them all together in one place, because if you can start changing angles and manipulating things that way, it's just going to take you to the next level. But that's the way I would start, and just keep building. That's how I did it. And my stuff doesn't look great when I first start out. It looks great when it's done, but I'm doing like 80 hours, 100 hours, 120 hours in my stuff, where I sketch a model down, and if I like the way the sketch is going, then what I do is I keep going back and taking apart and picking little things, and I keep making it more refined and better. So think of a mock as being lots of little mocks inside of it. You want to solve little problems as you come across them. Like, what is the shape of the hood of the car? Because I'm building a car right now. What does the engine look like? Where are the tires placed? And then looking at each little section of the car, like the car seat itself, can be its own 1 to 2 hour thing, where you just sit there and you try to make the best seat possible fit inside it. So yeah, just break it down, take it in chunks, and eventually you'll have something that looks pretty cool.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much. And as for all of y'all watching, thank you so much for watching another episode of the Zbricks Show. This is the first episode in kind of my interim episodes. So I just finished season 2. Season 3 is going to start next summer. We'll probably have a few more episodes. I've got a few people that I plan on interviewing within the next few months. So I can't promise videos every week, maybe every few weeks, because I am back in school and I am busy with that. So
Good. School's important, man.
Yeah. I've got to get through school so I can do the fun stuff like this.
Yeah,
but,
absolutely. I would say that is, if I'm going to give advice to any young builder, it's Lego is a nice hobby. It's a good pastime, but really you got to focus on action. And everything you learn can eventually be applied to what you're building. So, I got a really good education. I have an engineering degree, and that's the structural part of Lego. I've got a fine art degree in design. That's the styling part of Lego. And you talked about how you're bringing together structure and you're bringing together style and aesthetics. And, just teach yourself things, whatever you're doing, learning in life, whether you're doing building things or working with your hands or mathematics or whatever it is. Yeah, definitely start with that education. And as you get more experience, it's going to just apply to you as your life moves forward. So that's really where you should be focused.
Absolutely.
Yeah, have a great that you're in school, and study hard and do well.
Thank you. But anyways, that's all the time we have for this episode. It's been pretty great, and honestly, I'm glad to be back and recording these episodes. So you'll probably see some over the next few months. I'll let you know plenty of time before when these are going to go up. This episode, we're recording it on a Friday, and I don't know if it'll be up the next day or a week later. I'm trying to get them up like rapid fire after I record them, because it's been a while since the last episode. It's been 3 or 4 weeks. So this will either be up, well, I guess it doesn't matter. You're seeing it when you're seeing it.
Yeah, they're seeing it when they see it.
Yeah. So
yeah.
But it depends how fast I get it edited. But and if this video on the StreamYard works. But if you are, Moto's making fun little expressions over there. But if you're not, then you can't see it. So, but thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all next time. Have a great day. Have a wonderful week.
Thank you for having me on.
Of course.
Thank you so much.
Of course. Thank you. Zbricks out.